What is going on, YouTube? We are back past the prop time. Coming here. Only an 8-gamer today on the slate, but we're back, hopefully making you guys some money today for this slate. Joined as always by my guy, Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Got a pretty solid slate going today. Some basketball and some baseball to bet on. Yeah, couldn't really complain, man. Like you said, it's a Monday. Got to get the week started the right way.
Yeah, no, it's a smaller slate, but a lot of closely lined games. There's not too many of those minus 300s we've been seeing over these last few days. Pretty evenly matched lines. Even the Yankees minus 130 going down even to I think minus 225 was the biggest I saw. But Blue Jays have a close matchup. We got the Braves have a close matchup in game 2 with a minus 120 spot. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get after this one. There's not really any parlayable teams here today. And yeah, I'm excited to kind of break down those. I feel like those ones are a little bit harder, make it a little bit more interesting, a little more fun in these long grinding weeks. When the season gets a little long.
Yeah, no, 100%. And two, even you got it. It feels like we have a lot of the middle tier pitchers going today. No elites, but we also don't really have the low of the low going today either. So there's no clear targets, like you said, to kind of beat up on like there normally is on gambling Twitter. So it's an interesting slate. I always wish for the huge ones where every single team is playing because you have so many options, but it is good to kind of, focus up on a couple games every once in a while as well.
Yeah, it makes the DFS slates a little bit tougher, trying to get away from ownership, trying to make sure that we get to teams that aren't super highly owned. Because obviously there are a few teams that obviously stick out on today. So you got to be a little different if you want to take down these tournaments. Obviously a little different if you do 50-50s, but I don't think me and Stu do 50-50s too much. No cash games for us here. So I guess we can do a recap of last show. And unfortunately, the DeGrom injury really killed two of my plays. We had the DeGrom 12Ks long shot got killed. And DeGrom obviously was in this one. Did end up having the first 5 with the A's. Dude, that play is like a wagon at this point, obviously depending on who they're playing. But Jesus, even against Cincinnati, we saw 11 runs scored there, dude. So it was really nice. Sweat-free to make up for DeGrom just leaving with forearm tightness, which is extremely unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I mean, the A's, who knew the A's would be an early season wagon for us? But I mean, that's arguably one of the Reds' road offense was able to put up those kind of points. It seems like almost anyone in the league can. So definitely something to keep monitoring. And, like I said, didn't expect at the beginning of the year to be trusting the A's, but shout out to them.
Yeah, I did that qualifier one, right, for the top 100 or whatever it is for the World Fantasy Baseball Championship. Took 9th and 10th. Each one I had a stack of the Reds in one. I had a stack of the A's in the other. Who would have thought those guys would be pushing me towards the top, and obviously ran out of time. Shout out Spencer Steer for being absolutely terrible at baseball. The guy had 5 at-bats and contributed 9 outs in those at-bats. That's impressive, dude. I think he had 3 double plays. He reached on an error and then strikeouts or ground out, something like that. So really awful lineup construction, putting them in the 3-hole because obviously your boy had 1, 2, and 4 and didn't play Steer, and then Steer just ruins everything because Tyler Stevenson has to start off every inning because Spencer Steer double plays every single time he's up. So shout out him. Hopefully he's in the minor leagues next week.
Yeah, 3 double plays is fucking brutal. That's I'm not sure how you get another at bat after you start that way. You know what I mean? It's probably time to hit the showers at that point.
We'll go over to yours here now.
This one was a hit right here. Bryant got the job done. Obviously, Twins got the job done as well in that one. Then it looks like, unfortunately, I brought some bad vibes bringing the NBA into it. We were doing fine in the MLB. Maybe should have stuck to it right here. Looney got crushed, unfortunately. I think he only ended with 1 assist in this game. Minutes were way down. Very unlucky. Obviously, bounced back and hit it yesterday, of course, how it always works.
Yeah, that's basketball. That's playoffs. Obviously, the games get a little tighter, too, during the playoffs here. Slow it down a little bit. But interesting games over there. But we'll be talking just MLB today. I guess we could take a look. We got 10 people in here so far in the first 5 minutes. If you guys could hit the like button, let's get started here. Stu, what is the game sticking out to you? Obviously, we got a doubleheader on the books. We got a few other spots today. What are you looking at here?
I'm gonna do something I haven't done in a while. I'm gonna take my Nationals in this one. I'm gonna be watching the Nats Cubs game, and I can get some flack for this, but I haven't picked a Washington team in this category in a while because it's been truthful. I haven't actually wanted to watch those games. But looking at today's slate, Mackenzie Gore, one of the more exciting pitchers we got on the mound, young guy, lefty, starting off the season pretty strong against obviously Drew Smyly, who we've talked about a couple times as maybe even like a regression candidate, but he's looking pretty good so far. So that's going to be my pick. I'm standing to it. No bias. It's going to be a good game today.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably pick 6 better games on an 8-game slate than that one. I would probably pick 6, maybe 7 other games I'd rather watch than the Washington Nationals. Okay. I am starting Kyber Ruiz in fantasy, so I guess I could watch it. I am starting Cody Bellinger this week in fantasy, who's been phenomenal. So hopefully those guys come through. Kyber's been pretty good. He's been pretty good so far to start the year. And your boy CJ Abrams sitting on the bench, so we'll see what happens there with him later on in the season. I kind of got to do Boston, right? You got to do Boston versus Toronto. I really like this spot. I like this game. I'm curious to see if the positive regression continues for Jose Berrios. His changeup has been way better. His location has been way better. And I'm curious to see how he does against Boston in an environment where wind is blowing out, right? We have a pretty good environment for hitters. How is he going to be able to stack up? How are the Blue Jays going to be able to attack Kluber? 10 total. You don't see that very often in like April, May portion of Boston because it's usually pretty cold. But wind's blowing out. 150 to the Blue Jays. Maybe, dude. I don't think I could ever lay chalk on Jose Berrios. I don't care if he's been better. It's just you got to show me a little bit more than 2 or 3 game sample size.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's definitely one to watch. Obviously, what Berrios, like his changeup is up to like 47% like whiff percent against righties or something like that so far this year, which is, I believe I saw something like that. So it's interesting. I don't know. Will Berrios keep it going? I see gambling Twitter's a little split on him. A lot of people hate this guy from last year because of obvious reasons. And then some people are jumping right on the bandwagon. So I don't have a strong take. I'm not going to bet either way one year. I'm just going to hopefully benefit with maybe a little hit parlay in that game or two.
Yeah, dude. It's by far, I think that game, and they said it down the East Coast, a lot of those games are blowing out, right? So the Washington game as well. New York, right? All have wind blowing out. And I don't know, dude. This game, I feel like 10 might be a little light. If we're being honest, dude. We got Kluber obviously not doing too hot to start the year. I mean, Berrios has to keep that ball down on the ground here, dude. So we'll see if anything gets put up in the air there today. Right field obviously short. We got left field short with the monster. Just don't hit it to center, and you're probably circling bases there. So we'll see how that game goes, but I'll be talking about that one in a little bit here. So, all right, Stu, let's get it started. I'll kick it over to you to start. We'll start out with your hit parlay here.
Sounds good. We went Alex Verdugo and Fernando Tatis to both record a hit. This one is minus 120 over on FanDuel right now. And, we can start out with Verdugo, who's been very, very good to us so far this season. If you've been betting hit parlays, he's been one of the more consistent guys out there so far this year. He tweaked his approach a little bit coming into the season, less whiffs, more contact, batting 308 so far, so off to a pretty good start. That also does increase up to 354 at home. As for this personal matchup right here, 6 for 14 in his career against Berrios with a bomb in those at-bats. Obviously, seeing him pretty well over the course of his career. And I mean, he's seen everyone pretty well recently with 1 hit in 16 of his last 20 games coming into it right here. It's just one of those situations. Verdugo better against righties than lefties so far this season. 213 to righties, 273 to lefties. I think Verdugo keeps it going. We're not asking for a crazy good game. We're asking him to continue to get on base, which he's done very well so far this year. And I paired that up with Tatis, who obviously come back from suspension. I'm sure everybody saw the minor league clips of him absolutely destroyed, putting up some video game numbers. And he's been doing pretty good since he's come back. Obviously had a hit in every single game since he's returned. When you look at his history versus Weaver, 4 for 10, 400 batting average against him. Now he's back at home. He gets to come in off of a series. The thing is, I was thinking a little bit, do you have an opinion? Do you think there's going to be some kind of hangover after playing at that last series where there was all that offense? That was the one thing I was considering right here, because Tatis, you come down to earth. It's kind of like the Coors hangover, people say, to a little bit of extent. I'm not sure if that's personally going to factor in. Weaver 22 against right-handed batters so far this season. I think Tatis keeps it going, but that's the one thing I did want to ask you before I got out of here. Do you think there's going to be some kind of hangover for these hitters after that crazy series we just saw?
Not really. I don't really think it's going to be too bad. Obviously, as a hitter, you don't really change your approach much. It's just those line drives are probably getting out versus line drives right at somebody, especially at this level with Tatis. You got Soto in there. You got Machado. Xander Bogaerts. The team's loaded. So I expect the Padres to be fine. I don't really think that we're going to see too big of a jump. The only one, maybe the Giants, just because you're going back home to that park, dude.
Yeah.
And they're playing Houston, I believe, in their next series here. So that's tough. That one I would definitely be on the Astros every single time versus this one. Obviously, I lean the Padres here to get it done here.
Yeah, very fair. But like I said, two very consistent guys, both over 300, both at home right here. Love the spot. -120, I think, is pretty good value. Like I said, you get that over on FanDuel Sportsbook.
Sounds good. And I'm going to be heading to the Blue Jays here. We just talked about the Blue Jays Boston game there. I really like the Blue Jays today, man. I'm a fan of fading on Kluber here. Kluber, obviously, lowest ground ball rate he's had in his career, only at 31%. If we're going to have wind blowing out and only a 31% ground ball rate, let's just go the last. You can go back to 2015, right? 44, 46, 46, 46, 42, 44, 37, 31.8 is the ground ball rate now. You have a team here that is loaded with power. You go to last year's numbers, obviously this year a little bit different, but still has a 500 slugging so far this year to right-handed batter so far. But if you go to last year, he gave up a 413 slugging to righties, 270 batting average, right? This team is not a team you can miss up in the zone to, right? If you're going to have a team here loaded with Springer, you even got a couple lefties sprinkled in there now with Varsho and Belt. Kirk obviously has been swinging a great bat. We're going to talk about your guy here in a little bit. In the 3-hole, who's the highest in expected WOBA to start the year. Also, we're looking at a guy here who's walking dudes, right? But Kluber is walking guys at this level. If you're not throwing gas, you can't put free guys on base. Kluber is not throwing it by guys. He's got a 10.5 barrel rate, dude. This is not a great matchup here. 6.7 ERA with a 7.5 walk percentage for a guy who's barely touching 92. I have a really hard time seeing the Blue Jays not get all over them. Obviously, I like that they're automatically getting that 9th at bat. I think both teams could hit their team total, but I am more confident in the Blue Jays. And I always like kind of picking on Boston at home here just because I like the porch, right? I like that short porch to right. I like that green monster that just pushes doubles versus fly ball outs, right? So sign me up, dude. I think this is going to be a great series, but Kluber here I think is in for a tough one.
I agree, and I like it. It sets up, for an offensive game, too. If it's one of those where Berrios comes out and he kind of shits the bed, we could see everybody having to score a lot in this matchup right here. But like you mentioned, the Jays' offense has obviously been on a roll recently. Kluber, even for the last season or so, has not, been the strongest in the world. And then when you look through kind of the baseball savant page at how some of these guys are hitting versus him, it's not too good for Kluber right here. So definitely like this spot right here. And I like Toronto to keep their offense strong. It's been fun to watch so far.
Yeah, definitely could be just a double up, right? Both sides just cooking. I kind of lean that way. Just maybe I think that 10, like I said before, 10 seems a little light in this one if we're going to see that wind blowing out there. So should be a fun one to attack there. Terrence talking about he has yes runs first inning. Obviously, we have a Red Sox fan in here, talking about best hitting weather on the slate. Yep, for sure, dude. I'm really hoping all of those games go pretty well there. Welcome, Jay, popping here in the chat. 20 of you guys in here. We appreciate you. We're coming on to plays 3 and plays 4 here. Let's get to it.
Sounds good. I'm going with Matt Chapman over 1.5 total bases -110 right here. I love the spot. And I actually like that yes runs first inning spot, by the way. I don't play that market too often, but with how much, inconsistency there are in both ends, I do kind of like that. I might have to hit that one after the show right here. But we'll go to Chapman, who's obviously been one of the most impressive batters in baseball so far this season. 384 batting average on the season puts him obviously in second place. And you mentioned it. This guy was the WOBA leader in April, and that's all while underperforming his expected WOBA, right? Which is the advanced analytics still telling us, like, we know this guy's doing amazing. We're actually expecting him to do a little bit better so far. Obviously, the barrels is what's crazy. Over the last 10 games, he does lead the league in barrel percentage, and he has the most barrels in the league. 10 barrels in 10 games is fucking insane. The dude is smashing the ball right now, coming in extremely hot. Because I was looking at him for a hit parlay, right? I was looking, obviously, the great history in this matchup right here. I was looking at him for a hit parlay. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I open up Baseball Savant. All 5, he's had 5 plate appearances against him in his career, right? All 5 of those at-bats have gone to the warning track. 4 of them were extra base hits. 2 of them were singles. 2 of them were home runs. And then 2 of them were doubles. 2 of them were home runs. And the single was even at the warning track. So I'm not going to take a guy like Chapman, who's absolutely smashing the ball right now, for a hit parlay. I think if he puts it in contact, if he gets another one of those barrels on the ball right here, I think it's going to go pretty freaking far. So I'm loving this matchup right here. I think he keeps the momentum going. Like I said, 5 for 5 in his career against Kluber is pretty freaking insane. And then if you really want any more evidence, just pull up the freaking Baseball Savant page and look at everything. 100th percentile hard hit percentage, 100th percentile average exit velocity, batting average, expected slugging. This guy is crushing the ball right now, and now he gets a familiar matchup where he's crushed the ball in the past. Sign me up at -110. I'll take it 10 out of 10 times.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm going with another reliable hitter here. I'm a little nervous on the Snell side, but I'll talk about it here in a second. Blake Snell, obviously, tough start to the season, right? Obviously, we're sitting at a 5.4 ERA, expected ERA over 7. What I do want to talk about here is the 16.5% walk rate. That's obviously not great. You look at Cincinnati, pretty free swinging team, though. We had a pretty free swinging team on the Cincinnati side, but also Cincinnati striking about 27% of the time against lefties. I think we're going to see Blake Snell coming back a little bit more true to form here. The only reason I'm talking about that is because the whiff rate is actually up on all of these pitches, right? It's not like he's falling apart here, right? We're looking at a slider with a 53% whiff rate, right? Curveball, 47. Changeup, 45, right? Like, all of these whiff rates are higher than last year's numbers. He's just not getting deep enough into these games to get to this number. That's what's killing him, right? Like I said, look at the Reds team. Bottom half of the league in terms of OPS versus left-handed hitting at a 695. Obviously, the home games obviously really boost that number. I for some reason I don't have that number up for on the road versus lefties. But man, dude, I think Snell has a day today. Obviously, I say this for a few guys, right? Snell will have a fantastic outing if he can just limit the damage in the one inning that he sucks. Right, he has one inning that he sucks every single game, right? Whether it's the 4th, 5th, whatever. He's going to get the bases loaded at some point, or 2 guys on base, whatever. If he can get out of that with no damage, keep that pitch count in check, we're going to have a great Blake Snell outing, right? And I think that here, if we go, 3 months into the season, let's go 3 months down the road, what would his strikeout numbers be against the Reds at home? Probably like 7.5, not 6.5, right? We definitely see 7.5 in the juices towards the under here. So I think obviously I'm buying in on the positive regression coming here. Obviously the numbers are there, the swing and misses are there. He's just not able to put guys away, and he's just not able to get deep enough into these games. Xander Bogaerts has a hit in 7 of his last 10 games. Obviously, he's doing fantastic. Top 30 fantasy player right now if you drafted him. You look over at Luke Weaver, .318 batting average allowed to right-handed batters, .682 slugging. You can't pitch around anybody in this top 4 of the San Diego order because they just have somebody behind them. Every single one of them has an all-star behind them. That's like something that not many teams can walk out there, right? This is a tough team to match up with. Obviously, you're going Tatis, Soto, Machado, then Xander. Dude, this is a tough lineup to navigate. I think Xander gets the job done here. Obviously, the Snell side's minus like 200, minus like 210, kind of bringing this number a little bit better. But getting almost plus money on a guy who's as reliable as Xander Bogaerts is against a great matchup here. Also having the Cincinnati pen would be fine with me. And Snell getting to 6. I mean, we could see it through 4 innings. The swing and miss stuff is there. It's just, can he limit the walks enough to get deep in this game?
Yeah, no, I like what you said about limiting that one blow-up inning. That's kind of what he's known for. The guy has some crazy stuff in there, but the walks pile up. The 33-pitch innings pile up, And like you said, too, this is a matchup where you're not going to get killed by that as much as if you're playing like the Dodgers, right? The Reds are obviously not quite on that level. It's a road matchup, one of the less, strong road teams as well. And when you look, Ahan, too, posting a kind of crazy stat right there that he's the only pitcher in the league, actually, with 3 pitches of a 40% whiff rate or more. So obviously love to see that. Love to see the plus money over on DraftKings. I mean, Xander's great to me. I'm not even going to touch on that. Xander's like, the dude's been money so far this season. We both obviously agree right-handed batters versus Weaver is kind of a smash spot right here. I like the spot. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, though. A lot of these guys, right? It's like Luzardo last year, right? Dude was phenomenal. It's just, could he limit the walks? If he did, he'd be nasty and go 6 innings with 10 Ks. I have to buy it down, though, just because I do have a little less trust, right? 6.5 is the number. I think it's a good number. But, yeah, it just, I'll take the extra one. I'll buy it down for the plus money here on this spot. So, sorry, Blake, I don't trust you fully. Yeah, show me a little bit more.
And also, how many times in history have we been burned by that one strikeout, right? That's the difference between one inning and another, right? So at the end of the day, you'll take that.
Perfect. Let's get through a quick recap. We'll see if we're going to a long shot here. Obviously, a smaller slate, little less options, but we'll see what's up. Let's get your plays out here, Stu.
Sounds good. Hit parlay right here. Verdugo and Tatis to both record a hit, minus 120 over on FanDuel. And then we got Chapman over 1.5 total bases, minus 110 over on MGM or DraftKings.
Beautiful. Blue Jays team total over 5.5, minus 105. Blake Snell to record 6 strikeouts and Xander to get a hit at plus 115 over on DraftKings. Almost 20 cents better than it is on FanDuel. That's where I created it this morning. So lock it in over on DK. We'll be ready to roll over there. Stu, you got one for us? You got something for us here on the long shot train?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do have a kind of cheap answer. Obviously, I did bet the Chapman home run already at 340. That's a little safe right there. What do you think about Cody Bellinger to go yard today against my Nationals? The only reason, I like my Nats. I don't really want to bet against them too much. Gore's been pretty good, but that price caught me off guard. Over 500 on a couple different books for Bellinger to go yard. I mean, Nationals one of the worst bullpens in the league. When you get past Gore, Gore's probably not making it past 6, even if he is having a super good outing. That's not too bad right there.
Yeah, I don't hate it, dude. Obviously, I'm backing. I'm always on the Cody Bellinger train as a fantasy owner, so won't hate it. But yeah, no, you're the guy who knows him. You, what do you got? I mean, it's up to you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm locking in Bellinger to hit a bomb right here. We're going plus 540. I like those odds. I think that's good value. We're seeing it down to plus 450 over on DraftKings as well when you compare it. So I'm not hating it. And too, when you look at Bellinger so far, 4 of his 7 home runs have come against left-handed pitchers so far as well. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, if I was going to say, whoa, let's give me our odds right here. 100 points better than DraftKings. Let's get Bellinger to go yard.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what I want to do today, man. I don't know if I have one. I don't think I have one. There's a few lines that I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a couple alt lines maybe in terms of run lines. There's a couple of games I think that could get blown out here. If I was going to do one, it'd probably be just the alt total on the Boston game towards the over just because I have to have some sort of fade of Mr. Berrios in the show. I mean, it's kind of at this point just a lock-in, right? You got to somehow fade them in there. So, but I'm going to wait a little bit. I won't have one in here. That's the tough part about doing one at 12:30 Central Time here. We still got about 5.5 hours before the first pitch of the slate, the main slate that we're going to be talking about here. So, again, unfortunately, I will not have one here today. But make sure you pay attention over on Twitter. I'll probably drop one maybe if I do decide to play something. Dude, I knew I was getting a Quantrill question. He's always on whenever I pitch. I don't know. I don't know how I like that game, dude. I really don't. Quantrill's been terrible. Vermont's been terrible since he's got caught cheating. There's just so much red flags in this game to me. This would be a game, though, that you would alt the over, in my opinion, or you could alt the under. I think one of them is just going to just unload. Like I could see the Yankees getting beat by 20 today, just because their lineup has been kind of bad without Judge, dude. That lineup is really bad. And obviously Domingo Germán is very, very prone to blow-ups. He has the swing and miss stuff, but he's been without that sticky stuff, man, not as good as what he was. So I definitely think that this game literally is what I call a tournament winner, right? This game is a tournament winner. Well, there's going to be one side of this game that wins you a tournament because no one is going to, it's just like right in the middle of everything, right? Domingo Germán, right in the middle, right? Cal Quantrill, right in the middle, right? Yankees lineup is probably middle towards bottom, and Cleveland is right in the middle too, right? In terms of like the optimizers and all that stuff. One of those is going off. I have a feeling that one of those is going to be in the optimal lineup, and I got to figure out which one because I'm going to be playing some side of this game just because of the wind blowing out. Whether that be I play a very low-owned Cal Quantrill or very low-owned Germán, or I just play one of these offenses. I kind of lean towards the Cleveland offense, in my opinion, as a tough team to strike out against a team or against a guy who really relies on the strikeout. So I think it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be one that, like I said, it's very hard to read the game. It is very up in the air to me.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the order and I was scrolling through the bait, I was like, Germán versus Quantrill. That's a like you said, really it could go either way. I mean, Germán has really had some of these games where he gets absolutely destroyed. I mean, like, and then he'll have an 8-9 strikeout game every once in a while as well, but not a great strikeout matchup either. I don't mind that Quantrill strikeout looks as well, like with how the Yankees lineup has been recently, but weird game. I agree. That's definitely kind of tournament winner vibes. Like some 7 or 8 hitters going to hit 2 home runs tonight. We'll see who actually does it or not.
Little Oscar Gonzalez action, maybe? Yeah, something like that. Somebody like that's going to be the dude who hits one. I always, whenever I thought like a game like that, it would always be Austin Hedges when he played for Cleveland, dude. The dude would just could decide on like a random day game to just break a slate and doesn't do shit for 2 weeks after that. So, yeah, it'll be a good game. I'm trying to figure out which way I want to play it because I know I have to have one side involved in this game. So, all right, Stu, what do you got for the people? We're right at the 30-minute mark. We got our games, and we had a short slate today. Got through it pretty quick. What do you got for them?
Yeah, no, I mean, tons of MLB bets coming at you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on Past the Prop. I also do have my NBA article with Odds Checker. I already have one out so far on Devin Booker if you want to go check that out. I'm waiting for some Embiid news because I have no fucking clue if the guy's going to play or not before I write my second article. But I'll have another article later tonight as well for tonight's NBA slate. So just keep on betting every single day. Hopefully we just stack up these winners and we can come here and celebrate on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, the doubtful tag is almost like a questionable tag to me. Like with Philly, dude, they've done this so often. It's just tough to read, dude, right? It's like impossible to read. I have no read on that game with that shit, man. It's just tough because, like, I feel like that's not right. You should have to tell them what's happening, dude. Not like just put a doubtful, think everybody's not going to play, and then boom. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, fun slate. Make sure you're following over on Twitter, both of us over on Pickett. We'll be talking about our favorite stuff, and obviously we'll be back Wednesday. We'll have stuff in between. Obviously, YouTube play of the day for me. Obviously, more articles for Stu. And really excited to break down some more games for you guys. It's getting into the fun part of the season, and we're starting to get a little bit more numbers to back up our plays here. So fun stuff. Excited to break down, again, another slate for you guys on Wednesday. Make sure you follow over on Twitter to see what time we're going live. Obviously, going to be different. It's going to be fun. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck, and hopefully we're coming back to you guys with some good news Wednesday, coming back with a sweep. So have a good one, guys. Peace.